Okay, great. Awesome. Alrighty, so equipment you're gonna need today is your letter ball of some sort. I don't have my socks today, but remember, if you don't have a letter ball, just some kind of ball-shaped object of some sort will do. It could be a rolled up pair of socks, it could be a rolled up rag, but preferably something with an interesting pattern for your eyes to look at. Yeah, so a ball-shaped letter ball, and then two pencils or two cooking utensils, something that's easy for you to hold. If that's not realistic, you could just use your thumbs also. And then, as always with this class, because we get into some visual and vestibular work, once we get into that part of the class, just being mindful that, especially with the vestibular work, if you get dizzy or nauseous at any point, that's fine. That's totally okay, but it means that you've met your edge. So you want to back off, take a break, grab some water. Um, as well as for some of the visual work we're doing when your eyes are moving all around. If your eyes get itchy or watery or red or something like that, again, that's normal, but it means that you've met your edge. So maybe take a break. Okay. So we'll start in a seated or standing grounding position of some sort. And we'll close the eyes and we'll just let the body settle down here. Just finding your breath at first. And I want you to make your exhale longer than your inhale. So go ahead and take an inhale. And then I want you to exhale maybe twice as long as that inhale. No need to count, just exaggerating, bringing you all the way or almost all the way to the end of your breath. And then taking an inhale at the end. Twice as long exhale. Inhale. And twice as long exhale. And I just want you to keep going with that breath. Seeing if you can nasal breathe as you do this. And seeing if you can belly breathe as you do this. So trying to breathe, inhale into your belly as opposed to inhaling into your neck or your chest. Inhale and twice as long exhale. Inhale and twice as long exhale. Yeah, and try to stay with that breath. And then we'll just find a body scan here, and we're going to focus a little bit more on the skin today. So starting from your head, working your way down through your feet, and just noticing all of the different sensations on your skin right now. Maybe the temperature of the room you're in, the clothes on your back and your shoulders. Maybe you can feel the support of the chair behind you or under you. Can you feel your pants or your shorts? Do parts of your body feel warmer or colder than other parts of your body? Can you sense your feet on the ground or on the base of your wheelchair? Lastly, go ahead and set your intention for class today. We'll take one more inhale, one more exhale, and we'll open the eyes. Good. Okay, we're going to start with a little bit of face and head work today. So we'll bring fingernails or knuckles to the scalp. Ooh, this feels tight for me today. And I want you to give yourself a really amazing head scratch all the way up and over your head. Notice if you've got any tender or any sensitive spots. Do parts of your scalp move easier than other parts of your scalp? Giving the skin a little bit of a shake, a little bit of movement in that area. Remember, you've got connective tissue and muscles all over your scalp that can get tight, that can cause headaches, that can cause neck tension. So this is sometimes a good place to start if you're experiencing any of that. Good, and then go ahead and just let that sit. Notice if there's any difference there. Maybe just doing a few head and neck circle rolls. And switching direction. Mhm. Okay, coming back to the center. We're gonna do some face tapping. Normally we do body and chest tapping, but we're gonna do this really lightly on the face. So I just want you to start under your cheekbones and really, really gentle, like gentle enough where if you were tapping, you wouldn't even squish a grape. Okay, so really gentle. And just kind of tapping all the way down. Yeah, you can use your knuckles or fingers, tapping down into the jaw, into the chin. Remember, the chin can hold some tension too. And then starting to work your way up. And again, keeping this maybe even lighter up into your forehead. The space around your eyebrows is a really good place. We've got 3 or 4 meridians that run through here. So this is a good place that also holds tension and energy. And then working your way back down your face and back into your chin. Yeah, and just notice as you did that, was there one spot you want to go back to? Was there one spot where you were like, that felt really good? I'm going to go back to that spot. Just give a few more taps to whatever area feels good for you. Yep, and then go ahead and relax. Great. Okay, we're gonna play a little bit with facial expressions. If you're able to open and close your hands, we're gonna do this with our hands as well. Otherwise, I'll just be moving the face. Okay, don't worry, nobody can see you. Okay, so I want you to make a really big surprise face like you just won the lottery. Yeah! And then I want you to make fishy lips, sucking your cheeks in, bringing your hands into fists, and make yourself small. So kind of hunching your shoulders, pulling yourself in. And then get really big. Yeah, life is awesome. Good. And then fish lips get small. hmm Good. Get big and excited. Maybe stick out your tongue. Let your tongue come forward. Good. And then get small fish lips. One more. Get big. And then get small fish lips. Okay, good. And then shake that off. You can shake the arms, the legs if you're standing. Awesome. Okay, and then coming into some of that tapping just under your collarbones. And we're going to add a hum to this. I'm going to have you tapping down the sides of your rib cage, down to your hips, up the sides of your rib cage, and across your chest. And I just want you to keep following that pattern down the ribs, the sides of the ribs, up to the chest. And then we're going to add the hum. Okay, so inhaling through your nose, lips are closed. Remember, you're going all the way to that end of that hum as long as you can. This is also training the lungs a little bit. Get all of that oxygen out of your lungs. Inhale only through your nose if you're able to, and then hum again. We're just going to do 3 hums. Inhaling when you need to. Maybe you're on your last hum. And relax. Awesome. Go ahead and give one more shake. Okay, we'll come to the stomach, starting at the very top center of the ribs, and then drawing that belly circle, rubbing your belly in a clockwise position. One of our cranial nerves goes all the way down and innervates almost every single organ system in our body. It's called the vagus nerve. And a lot of the methods that we do in this class target that nerve. It's one of the easiest ways to help calm the nervous system, to help prepare the body for movement. And the stomach and the intestines are two of the organs that innervate, so these are good areas to rub and give a little attention to. Okay. And then we'll release that. And then just finding a nice side twist. Side to side, letting your knuckle tap the opposite side of your back. Yeah, and we're going to work with some rotation here. So let's stop when you're rotated to the left. So right hand to left knee. And then looking behind you over your shoulder. And then twist. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to stop on the 5th one, looking over your other shoulder. Yep, 5 more twists. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, looking over the shoulder, and twist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. So every time you look, can you see something a little bit further on the wall behind you? Can your eyes go further? Can your head and your neck go further? Good, go ahead and switch. 3, 2, 1, and hold. Can your eyes go a little bit further than last time? And again, 5, last one, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. Can the eyes go a little bit further? Okay, good. Coming back to the center. Awesome. All right, let's do just a quick body tapping here. So go ahead and pick a shoulder, any shoulder. Finding a tapping, going down the outside of the arm, giving a little rub to the hands, maybe even a squeeze to the fingertips, and then tapping going up the inside of the arm. Down the outside of the arm, give the fingers a squeeze or a rub at the bottom, and then up the inside. We'll just do it 3 times on each side, moving at your own pace. Don't forget the squeeze at the end. Moving over to the other side. Squeeze to the fingertips. Yeah, you can do a rub. You can do a schluffing movement, as if you're putting lotion on. Whatever feels good to you and your skin and your body. And then once you've done that arm 3 times, let's come to the mid and upper back. So if you can reach your mid and upper back, just doing some gentle, so I'm just making a soft fist with my hand, just doing some gentle tapping to that area. If it's hard for you to reach your low back, you can just do it to the sides of your ribs. Oops. Okay, and then we're gonna work that right down into the legs, going down the outside. If you're able to reach the feet, whether you have shoes on or not, just give like a squeeze or a push into the toes, either through your shoes or directly to your toes, and then coming up the inside of the legs. So just like we did with the hands. Down the outsides, if you can reach the feet, give those toes a squeeze. And then up the inside. Last time. Squeezing. And then up the inside. We'll get the tops of the legs. If you're able to reach underneath the leg, so the hamstring area underneath the thighs. Okay, and go ahead and relax. Okay, good. And just noticing how the body's feeling, how everything is doing. Let's go ahead and just find a test, a check and a recheck here. So let's just start with a few overhead arm raises. So body's feeling a little bit more warmed up, a little bit more awakened. And we're just going to take an inventory of how all of these ranges of motion feel here. So as you're doing this, remember you're thinking and you're noticing speed of movement, range of movement, maybe comparing the two sides. Is there crunchiness? Does it feel free? Does it feel good? Yeah, just do one more and then down. Good. We'll do a few neck movements here. So let's just find a head tilt to the left and a head tilt to the right. I'm just going back and forth a few times, noticing the difference between the two sides, and noticing if this feels any different relative to other days. Mhm. And then looking straight forward, remember to think of pointing with your nose. So turning just the head and the neck as far to the left as you can, just the head and the neck as far to the right as you can. And remember, if you've got not vertebra, a fusion or hardware in your neck, to perhaps skip this one and maybe do it more from your torso. Okay, good. Coming back to the center, hands are going to be straight out in front of you, palms are touching. Hands can also be crossed over the chest if that's easier. Rotating to the left and rotating to the right. And going back and forth a few times, just noticing range of motion for both of those. How far do you get? Is it easy for you to breathe in a rotated position? Can you keep an even amount of weight on your sit bones if you're seated, or on your feet if you're standing? Okay, last one. Good. And then coming to some shoulder internal rotation. So arms in a goalpost, pivoting the hands down and up. Noticing all of the same things. How's your range of motion? Is one easier than the other? Mhm. If you're a standing athlete, you could be doing sit to stands. Just noticing how those are feeling. You could be doing hip hinges, flat back, neutral pelvis, or you could even be trying to do a single leg balance and just seeing how your balance is today. All right, good. Let's play a little bit more with spinal mobility here. I'm just going to give you my side profile. So hands can be on the hips if that's comfortable for you. We were working on this a little bit last week. So for those of you that are able to move your pelvis, I'm going to have you start with your pelvis tuck and lift. Okay, so tucking the tail under you, and then lifting the pelvis forward. And really just trying to get that movement more from your pelvis slash a little bit of low back. For those of you where moving the pelvis is kind of hard, you're going to be doing this from your ribs. So you're going to round your ribs, so round your mid back, and then lift and pull your chest forward. Rounding back, pulling forward. Okay, so whatever you've got access to, either finding that flexion and extension from the ribs or from the hips. And then let's find our breath. Okay, so exhale is going to be back, rounding or tucking. Inhale is going to be forward. Exhale is going to be back. Inhale is forward. And just kind of get into that rocking rhythm, moving right from one into the other. Okay, I'm going to layer on with that. So I want you to pull everything nice and tall and forward. I want you to lean forward with a flat back. Lean back, so you're seated upright. round and or tuck, lift. Lean forward, flat back, sit upright, round back, pull forward. Lean forward, sit upright, round, and extend. For my standing athletes, you're doing the same thing. You're finding that tuck and that lift, and then you're just coming right into a hip hinge forward. Tuck, lift, hip hinge forward. So we're working on spinal mobility, and then we're working on keeping that spine stable as we lean forward. If you need to have the hands on your lap to catch you as you lean forward, then you can do that too. Spinal mobility, spinal stability. Spinal mobility as we move, spine stays stable as we lean forward. Yeah. Let's just do two more. And last one. Forward and back. Awesome. And then we'll come to the center. Okay, we're gonna bring, make sure my whole body's in here. Let's bring left arm up, and I want you to really reach with that arm like you're really reaching for something way above you. And then so much so that if you're able to, that left butt cheek kind of lifts off of your chair. And if you're standing, you're trying to get onto your tiptoes. Okay, so working a little bit on that balance work there. And then bringing it back down, and other side. Reach that arm up. It's okay to weight shift. So you're weight shifting to the left now. You're lifting your right butt cheek, or you're lifting your heels if you're standing. And then center. Reach and center. And let's look at our hand when we reach. Looking up and center. Reach and center. Inhale to reach. Exhale, center. Open the ribs and center. Open and center. Inhale and exhale. And then can we make it a little faster, making it a little bit more fluid? Reach and pull, reach and pull. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Go for 4, 3, 2. Okay, 1, hold. So keep, let's see, we have right hand up. Now I want you to take your left hand and reach it down. And I want you to come into more of a side bend now, but really reaching one hand towards the floor and that other hand up towards the ceiling. That's it. And then come back to the center, hands come to the center. Left hand reaches up, right hand reaches down, focusing more on the side bend, and then really reach those two hands away from each other. I want you to exaggerate this more through the arms and the chest, and then center. Yep. Side bending left, oppositional reach. Side bending right, oppositional reach. That's it. Side bend left, oppositional reach. Side bend right. And if you're standing, you're doing the same thing. If you want to make it harder, you can add a balance of one leg. So lifting the leg that you're side bending away from, if you want more of a challenge. Okay, good. I'm going to layer on one more time here. So whichever direction you're side bending to, I want you to now close your hands like your arms are the mouth of an alligator. So clap your hands together and then open up and then come back to the center and switch sides. Side bend, alligator, clap the hands together. So you're kind of rotated down towards your hands, and then up and center. Side bend, alligator, clap, and center. Side bend, alligator, clap, and center. And then can you just, again, start to make this more of a fluid movement? For my standing athletes, feel free to bring this into a full, coming down into a squat on each side as you alligator clap your hands together. So it's almost like you're drawing this big arc, this big rainbow around you. A lot of side work today. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Yep, and then coming back to the center. Nice work, everybody. Okay, I'm gonna have you grab your letter ball. Hopefully the body's feeling pretty good right now. For those of you that have been playing with me, I'm just gonna have you go right into playing letter ball. For those of you that are just joining today, because I see a couple of new names, I'm just gonna go ahead and explain this. Okay, so holding your ball or your ball-shaped object in front of you, you're gonna pull that ball away from your body at any angle around you you want to. Look at the ball, say the first letter or number you see. If your ball doesn't have numbers, just pinpoint your eyes to a specific part of the ball. Okay, so the goal is to really make this more of a game for the eyes and the body. So I want a specific target for your eyes to look at. And they're going to pull it back into your chest. Pull it away at a new angle. Say the first letter number you see, pull it back into your chest. And you're just going to continue on with that, pulling the ball at a different angle away from your body, quickly saying the first letter or number you see, and then moving on. Okay? If you're able to play catch with yourself, you can do the same game playing catch with yourself. So every time you catch it, you pause the ball, saying the first letter or number that you see, and then moving on. You can bounce it off of the floor. You could bounce it off of the wall. But just making sure that you're moving that ball all the way around your body. Up high, down low, to the side. You could spin the ball. Yeah, so last week I gave you the challenge of spinning the ball. And this can go for people that are throwing or just moving the ball. This week I'm gonna make it a little bit harder eye tracking wise. So now as you either throw or move it around you, I want you to try to track a letter number the whole time. So as it's spinning, you might, and you don't have to say the letters aloud just in your head, but you might see 6 or 7 different letters or numbers. So can you really keep, and if you're throwing it around you, do a slower spin so that you can really track the numbers as the ball is in the air and as it's moving around you. This makes it harder in the sense of eye tracking. Yeah, and it takes a little bit more focus and a little bit more focus. Mhm. Yeah, that looks good. I'm not going to layer too much on with letterball today because I want to get some other stuff in. So maybe just do 5 or 10 more throws. Trying to find a little bit of spin and really trying to track those letters. Whoopsies. Okay. When you've done those last few, go ahead and relax. You can get rid of the ball. And I'm going to have you grab just one of your pencils here. We're going to go right into this, and then we're going to do another check-in here. Okay, folks that are blind or visually impaired, stay with me for a sec. I'm going to give you something slightly different. Everybody else, we're going to be doing the pencil push-ups. If you're wearing glasses, feel free to remove your glasses if you can still see the tip of the pencil clearly when it's at arm distance away from you. Okay, if you know what you're doing, again, go ahead and go right into these pencil push-ups. If I've talked to you and you know that you have a weaker or a less dominant eye, then remember to do single eye for your less dominant eye. That only applies to the people who know which eye they're working on or if I've talked to you before. Okay, if you're new to this, I'm going to walk you through it. So arm's distance away from you, holding that pencil with the pencil tip right in between your two eyes. Slowly bring that pencil in towards your eyes. It's okay if it gets blurry, but the second you start to see two pencils, you're going to pull that pencil away from you again. Pull it in when you start to see two pencils, pull it away. Okay. If you do not see two pencils and you want to make this a little harder, yeah, and if you're able to stand while doing this, then that's good. Yeah, because that just adds a different challenge. Okay, if you want more of a challenge, you can take this or leave this. I want you to move your head around as you do the pencil push ups. Keep your eyes focused on that pencil the whole time. Yeah. Only doing that if it's already easy for you. You're still moving that pencil in and out as you move your head in and out. So you're still doing the pencil push ups as you move in and out. Okay, for folks who are blind or visually impaired, we're going to make this a little bit more vestibular. So you don't need a pencil. We're just going to come into some VOR. So you're going to start with a head shake from side to side. Okay. If you're able to, if you're able to keep your eyes locked forward on something, even if that something is very blurry and you can't make it out, keep your eyes locked forward and you're still doing that head shake side to side as quick as you can. Doing this standing will be harder if you're able to, and you can also try doing it balancing on one foot if you want to do that too. Okay, again, that just adds an extra challenge. You can always be in a door frame to make it a little bit more safe. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, good. And everyone go ahead and relax. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, put the pencil down. Let's do one body check-in and then we're going to come back to some of this stuff. Okay, so finding an overhead arm raise. And you're just noticing, did this change for me at all from the first time I did it? Does it feel any different? For better, for worse, for the same? Let's go right into internal, shoulder internal, external rotation. So goalpost arms up and down. Yeah, I love this one when people just are moving their wrist. Okay, so remember, this is about the shoulders, not the wrist. So try to keep the wrists really steady with the forearm, and you're finding that pivot in the shoulder joint, not in the wrist joint. There we go. That's a little better. Yeah, good. Got a few people cheating on that one. Okay, arms in front of you, finding your rotation left to right. Did that change? Are you able to get further in any of those directions? Did it stay the same? Good. Coming back to the center, finding your head tilt to the left and to the right. Did that change for you at all? And even if one of these improved, then that's a small win. Okay, good. And then rotating the head, so turning the head and neck left, head and neck right. If you're a standing athlete, you can be doing your sit to stands, your hip hinges, or your single leg balance. Okay. And then actually, I'm curious to get a reading because we don't do these all the time. Even if it changed for one of these exercises, can I get either a thumbs up if movement somehow improved, a sideways thumb if it stayed the same, and a down thumb if it got worse? Wow. Okay, that is actually I don't think I've ever gotten all thumb. Yeah, Claudia, I see you. I don't know if I've ever gotten all thumbs up before, but that is exciting. Benjamin, get out of here. Okay, good, good, good. That's good to hear. Really, I just wanted everybody to give me a thumbs up. Okay, good. Okay, wait, sorry. Go ahead and grab your two pencils. We're gonna come to some what we call eye saccades, and then we're going to come into some bigger movement to finish. Okay, again, folks that are blind or visually impaired, bear with me for a sec. I'm going to give you a modification of this. Everybody else, holding your two pencils or your two thumbs if that's easier for you. Your nose is going to be pointing straight forward the whole time. So I want those pencils to be in a range, in a challenging range where I can they're just in my not even periphery. I want you to be able to see both pencils, but it's kind of pushing my limit with my eyes. I really have to focus on each pencil. I'm straining them to look at each pencil. Don't let your head move. Try to keep that head forward. So if that means you need to narrow the pencils, then please narrow the pencils. Okay, start with your saccade. So your eye jumps from left to right to each of those pencils. You're gonna do 20 jumps, one jump being left, right. That's one, left, right, that's two. You're gonna do 20 jumps side to side, 20 jumps up, down, 20 jumps at one diagonal, 20 jumps at the other diagonal. Okay, so I just want you to move through that one. For folks that are blind or visually impaired, we're going to bring that into just a full head movement. You don't have to use the pencils, but it's kind of nice to have a target of where to point your nose to. Okay, so for folks that are blind or visually impaired, we are going to be moving your head and neck. So holding those two pencils, you can even hold them a little bit wider, more out into a T, and turning the head left to right, pointing from the nose. And you're doing the same thing, 20 side to side, 20 up, down, pointing your nose up, pointing your nose down, 20 in one diagonal. So your nose is doing the disco in one diagonal, 20 doing your disco in the other diagonal. Everybody else should have their head steady and you're just moving your eyes. I'm just going to watch people here. Yeah. Yeah, and you're also just noticing, I want you to keep going and when you're done, I want you to go back to left and right, and I just want you to finish with left and right so I know you're done. Keep in mind that as you do these two over time, has it gotten easy for you? So if you've been taking this class with me for a while, have you noticed that your eye range of motion has improved? Are the pencils, maybe in the last few months, have you been able to move the pencils farther away from each other where you can still see and spot the pencils? So you're just taking note of that over time. Has anything changed? Not just within the time that I'm with you, but over months and weeks and whatnot. Okay, it looks like people are just about done. Yeah. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and drop the pencils. We'll finish with a little bit of bigger movement here. All right, good. So seated or standing, you're gonna reach up, spread the fingers if you're able to, and look up. And then you're gonna lean forward and give your knees a hug, if you can give your knees, or maybe just hugging your low belly and leaning forward. Get big, reach the arms up towards the sky, look up, and then get small, hugging your knees or your low belly and leaning forward. Get big, reach your tongue up towards your nose, try to touch your tongue to your nose, and then get small, try to touch your tongue to your chin. Get big, tongue to nose, get small, tongue to chin. Big tongue to nose, small tongue to chin. That looks really good. One more in each way. Big tongue to nose and small tongue to chin. Good. And then coming back to the center, let's bring hands in front of us, palms together, elbows are straight. For my standing athletes, feel free to step your left foot forward. So you're in either a lunge or a stepping forward position. You're going to open and rotate to your left. Press your tongue into the left side of your cheek. And then come back to the center. We're going to stay on that side. Open, rotate, tongue into cheek. and center. Yep. Open, rotate tongue into cheek and center. Open, rotate tongue into upper corner of the cheek. Reach your hand up where the tongue is pushing and reaching. That's it. And then center, same thing, up, tongue up, hand up. And center one more time, tongue up, hand up. And center. Rotate same direction, tongue down into the left lower hand corner of your cheek, and your hand reaches down and left. And then center. Tongue down, hand down, and center. Tongue down, hand down, and center. Good. Switching directions. If you're standing, step your right foot forward. Just a rotation here. Hand will be at shoulder level. Rotating right, tongue into the right side of your cheek. And center. Yep. Tongue into the right side of your cheek. And center. Two more. Rotate right, tongue right. And center. Rotate right, tongue right. And center. Rotate up, tongue up and right. And center. Reach up, tongue up. And center. We're almost done. Stay with me, everybody. Reach up, tongue up. And center. Reach down, tongue down. Center. Reach down, tongue down. Center. Last one. Reach down, tongue down. And center. Awesome. Go ahead and give the arms a shake. You can give the legs a shake if you're standing. Okay, we're just going to do one more thing here. Working a little bit on proprioception, and then we're going to build this in more moving forward. So I'm going to give you a few different variations and ways to do this one. For those of you that are able to reach overhead, you're going to be reaching overhead. For those of you where that's hard to do, you're going to be reaching in front of you at shoulder distance. And for those of you where opening the hands is challenging, you're going to be using the knuckles of your fingers, or the knuckles, like the big knuckles of your hand. Okay, so knuckles of fingers, knuckles of hand. This is going to make more sense when I explain this, or you're using your fingertips. Okay, so first variation, hand's going to come overhead. Without looking, touch the very pads of your fingers together, the pinky pads. So the two pinkies come up and touch each other, and then bring the arms back down by your side. Bring the hands up again without looking. On the very first try, can the ring finger pads of your fingers touch each other? And then down. Yeah, and you're gonna work your way through middle fingers. God, I keep missing. Middle fingers, down, pointer fingers, thumbs, and then you're gonna work your way back to the pinkies. You're noticing how your proprioception is. Do you land the fingers each time, or do you miss? Okay. For those of you that are either working in front of you and or working with your knuckles, you're doing the same thing, but you're doing it from your knuckles. Try to touch your pink, and you're going to close your eyes because obviously you can see your hands in front of you. So close your eyes, touching your pinky knuckles together, your ring finger knuckles together, your middle finger knuckles together, pointer fingers, and so on. But eyes are going to be closed for that one. Yeah, and if meeting the hands is challenging because maybe range of motion with one arm is slightly restricted, you're just going to keep that in the range of motion for that arm. So just bringing the hands, yeah, like Julie, that looks great. Bringing the hands in front of you, but eyes are going to be closed, and you're just playing with the proprioception of where your hands and your fingers are, either above you or in front of you. But if you're doing it in front of you, keep your eyes closed, no cheating. Okay, yeah. Maybe surprisingly difficult for people, maybe not. Maybe this is easy for you. Okay, go ahead and relax, just so I can get a reading, because it's hard for me to see this one with precision. Can I get a thumbs down if that was really challenging for you, a sideways thumb if it was okay, and an upwards thumb if you were spot on getting the fingers each time. Okay. Okay. Okay, good. It's like half and half. That's good. Okay. I just was curious for people there. That's great. All right. Nice work, everybody. Okay, so just coming back to a seated or standing grounding position, let's just do a few shoulder circle rolls. And then we'll go ahead and close the eyes. Coming back to the breath. Same thing, can you make your exhale twice as long as your inhale? So settling the body back down. And then noticing the sensations on your skin compared to the beginning of class. How does the temperature of the room feel? Maybe even the temperature of your upper body versus lower body, or left versus right side. Can you sense the clothes on your back, the clothes on your hips? Can you sense your feet and what they're touching? Go ahead and think of one thing you're grateful for today. We'll take one more inhale, one more exhale, and we'll open the eyes. All right. Thank you so much for joining today, everybody. I will be posting, yeah, and actually, I just want to make sure. So let's see. I'm just testing one of these links. This might be for the Tuesday one. Okay, great. So yeah, so that first link that Sarah Dawn posted was for the Tuesday one. And oh, awesome. Thank you for reposting that. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab the link for the